How's it going, everybody? Texas Man here. I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up if you guys really enjoy it. Subscribe, of course, if you guys have not already. Also, please do me the biggest favor of all. Hit that bell notification button so you guys don't miss out on future videos or streams here on the channel. Make sure to also head over to Twitch and follow me at Douglas447. I stream there at least once a week. And of course, we're going to be talking about Constantine from 2005. Also, I hope you guys are all having an awesome October. This is going to be one of many films I'm going to be talking about in this month, whether it be horror, relating to like zombies, hell, demons, witches, whatever. So look forward to a bunch more of them coming out here in this month. And as always, we're going to talk about positives and negatives here for this film. For Constantine, John Constantine. For those of you guys don't know what John Constantine is, it is based on a DC character. It's based on a comic book called Hellblazer. And I really still have fun watching this movie. This movie is 16 years old, and I still have a blast watching this film. It is by no means a perfect movie, but Keanu Reeves playing John Constantine is just awesome. I love Keanu Reeves playing John Constantine. Perfect casting. Basically, the plot of John Constantine is that he's been to hell. He was there for 2 minutes. Then he got brought back to our plane of existence. And now he has the ability to see both demons and angels on Earth. And it is his goal to keep the balance from making it where demons and angels cross over. And he's like, yeah, no. Demons need to stay in hell. Angels stay in heaven. There's a balance. There's a system. And anytime one of those sides tries to change the balance of power, you can count on John Constantine showing up with some sort of arsenal of weaponry or gift and sending you back to where you belong. So yeah, that is the basic plot of the movie. It's a very bare bones plot when you actually think about it, but there's a lot of awesome world building and a lot of moving parts. And it is a film that it's like, if you don't pay attention, you're going to miss out on crucial elements and plot points and things. Also, I didn't remember this, but I enjoyed seeing younger Shia LaBeouf from iRobot and the Transformers movies, and Ji Jam Haosun, I think you should say his name. He is an actor that was in Guardians of the Galaxy. He was a general of the Kree underneath Ronan from the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So if you guys know who I'm talking about, I'm sorry if I'm butchering the actor's name. But yeah, it was cool to see these other famous actors. There's a bunch of other famous actors and actresses in here. The half-breed Angel, she got the part of playing the witch in the rebooted Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe films. I'm just like, that was cool to see her much younger. I'm just like, this is really cool how much talent was put into this film in 2005. This film is also filled with a bunch of Bible references, which can be funny at times as well. There is a lot of OMG and shocking moments that are perfect. I mean, I've seen this movie 10, 12, 15 times, and like there's certain scenes you're like, good grief, like OMG, and I'm just like, it's amazing how effective those certain moments are in the movie. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about, especially that opening scene where that one dude gets the Spear of Destiny and he gets hit by a car, and you're like, and then he walks away, and you're like, what? So yeah, if you guys have seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I love the opening exorcism scene. It's well shot, very memorable. It's a perfect setup and introduction for the audience, not only to know what the world is going to be like for the next 2 hours as an audience member, but it's also a cool introduction as to what John Constantine is primarily doing at the current time before the actual plot kicks off. Even though this movie is dark, I actually laughed. I was surprised. I was watching with some friends and family members while I was reviewing this, and we were laughing. And we're like, this is a rated R movie with demons and angels and explosions, and we're laughing in it. Like, you don't get that much anymore in traditional demon and angel horror movie kind of things anymore. You don't get those funny moments. It's like it's either very funny or it's a very serious and dark tone film. But Constantine makes it where you can still have humor, and I love it. The CGI of Hell, amazing, even though it is very bare bones and basic, no pun intended. It's still amazing 16 years later. I mean, yeah, it looks like it came from 2005, but hell is hell. So, you can dream up whatever you want hell to look like because you can't go to hell and then get out. It doesn't work like that. I also love the really quick backstory and explanation as to why John Constantine does what he does, has these certain abilities, is able to go into these certain spots and whatnot. I really enjoy it. I also loved the sidekick detective and that she had the ability to see demons and angels, but she eventually made it where she kept denying to herself and friends and family that eventually, because she kept denying that she could see them, she's just flat out stopped seeing them, and I liked that aspect as well. Um, Also, I loved Duck the cat, very cute, and I love how in this movie they made it where ducks, cats are teleporters to and from hell. I liked that concept. I also love the scene at the very end of the movie where John Constantine and the devil are just having like this dialogue moment. I'm just like, it was really well done, really creepy. I'm like, you're seeing Satan, and he's just like, yeah, I'm a cool dude, but I do bad things for my own good reasons. I liked it. Um, Very average ending. I know there's a lot of people that are like, the ending wasn't satisfying. I'm like, I can agree on that. It kind of leaves you hanging for a sequel. And I know there's rumors that they're going to make Constantine part of the DC extended universe, where they're going to put Constantine alongside Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, Aquaman, Shazam, the Suicide Squad. And like, that's cool and all, but I'm like, this is John Constantine, How do any of these other DC characters compare to John Constantine? John Constantine's the one that's been trying to make where demons and angels don't come through your plane of existence and wipe you out. Like, yeah, dark side and whatnot. Those are omega threats. But I'm like, the devil himself, I think that's a little more scary than a dude that has an army and can shoot lasers out of his eyes. For negatives, though, like I said, this is based on comic books, yet this film really doesn't use all that much from the source material, which I kind of thought was weird. Another thing that I don't like is people constantly, and this isn't so much a negative to the film, it's a negative about people that have watched the film and reviewed it before me. I don't like the fact that people constantly compare and hate on this movie because it's got Keanu Reeves in it. I mean, this movie came out in 2005, so just a few years after the ending of the Matrix trilogy with Matrix Revolutions. I hate how people critique this film and compare it to the Matrix. And they're like, well, the Matrix did this better. This was better than the Matrix. This was better than the Matrix. I'm like, both films are 100% different. They have different genres, different tones, tons of other plots and, MacGuffins and things that are going on. I'm like, The Matrix and the entire Matrix trilogy and Constantine, they're completely two different films, two different universes. It makes no sense as to why people critique both of them side by side. I'm like, you can't do that. You cannot compare John Constantine to The Matrix just because it has Keanu Reeves in it. I'm like, that drives me nuts. And people to this day, 16 years or whatever later, still do that. You can literally go onto Rotten Tomatoes and like, this movie isn't as good as the Matrix trilogy. I'm like, so what? The Matrix trilogy was an outstanding achievement of technology when it was being made. Constantine, not so much about technology, it's more about the world and characters. So, you know, you got to figure out what the movie was supposed to be about, and I feel like a lot of critics can't figure that out with Constantine. Also, I don't understand how John Constantine is able to pay for anything, and why nobody seems to want to pay him for defeating demons. Like when he does the exorcism at the beginning of the movie, nobody pays him for doing that. He just shows up, does it, leaves. Uh, I don't understand how he's able to afford getting all these holy water grenades, a stick that shoots out dragon's breath, all these other gadgets and whatnot that make him almost look like Batman. But I'm like, how does he afford to pay for any of these things? Like, there's no currency in the movie. It's kind of like Ghostbusters. Like, yeah, we're gonna go around and we're gonna kill some ghosts and whatnot, but we're gonna do it for free. Only I think there was one time they get paid. But I'm like, you really don't see the exchange of money happen on screen. And I'm like, if that's happening in the Constantine movie, I'm pretty sure I watched it and it doesn't happen. Like, there's no currency in the movie. It's kind of weird. There is an abundance of language and violence, so do be aware of that. I mean, it's rated R. The violence is kind of more leaning towards the comic book origins and source, so it's not super bad, but there is a bunch of language in here that could have been cut out and maybe made it PG-13 so you could get more audiences in. Another thing I don't like is that characters are constantly asking questions and they just never get answers, especially towards the end of the movie. Like the detective lady, she's asking Constantine all these questions, and he either dodges them or he answers them, but it's like, a riddle because he doesn't want to scare her from what's about to happen. I don't like, just tell her what's going to happen because you know what's going to happen 10 seconds later? Boom. She's going to see what you're trying to hide her from. And then lastly, let's talk about the villain. There really isn't a villain in this movie, and that kind of drove me insane. I'm like, okay, we get all these good guys doing good things to prevent bad guys from doing bad things, but I'm like, we always see all the heroes, and it's not until like the last 15 minutes or so that we actually see the bad guy. But I wish that the bad guy was actually Lucifer. I wish the bad guy was actually Satan, not Satan's son. I mean, we don't even get to see Satan's son all that much. I mean, he tries to possess the detective, so we don't actually get to see himself on Earth. And I'm just like, it kind of felt like it was cheap. I really wish Satan was actually the threat. But overall, guys, I still have a blast watching John Constantine. I own it, and I enjoy watching it from time to time. So with that, I'm going to give the film an 8 out of 10. I appreciate all of you guys for watching. You guys all have a fabulous day, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream, whether it be here on YouTube or Twitch at Douglas447. Bye, guys.